Some days you might find that you just want to use a block. And a block does not always make the posture easier. Sometimes it makes it harder. But let's play around and see what it does for our practice. So grab one block and join me at the top of the mat. So let's place our block down right in front. I'm going to do one Surya Namaskar A, one Surya Namaskar B, and then jump straight into this, okay? And we're not even going to go through all of the standing postures, just a few, just so you have an idea what you can do. Also, if you're in a room that has a wall, we might use the wall for a little bit extra information, because I find that a wall can really help inform how our posture, how we're doing with finding the alignment in the posture when we don't have a teacher around to help point out whether we're a little bit wonky, okay? Now, you may need a little bit more warm up. So if you do, feel free to pause the video and do a little bit more of your sun salutations before you step into this. So bring the base of your toe mounts together in Samasthiti. Your arms are down at your side. And let's just begin. Inhale, sweep your arms up overhead. Look up, hands touch. You're looking at those thumbs. Exhale, fold forward. Now we got a block here. We can fold forward and come into the block, right down to the block, and just fold forward. And inhale, push into that block and find that length. You can pull on the block and find that engagement here. Belly button to spine. And then let's go ahead and bring our hands down to the ground and lower down. Chaturanga. Inhale into our upward facing dog. And exhale, downward facing dog. And this is just a normal downward facing dog. Although we could work with a block here too, but we'll just keep this simple. Breathe here. That was 2. Inhale. 3. 4. Really push those sit bones back towards the wall behind you, coming out of your shoulders. You're not putting all your weight on your arms, on your hands. Now let's go ahead and exhale, bend our knees, look forward to that block, and walk our feet forward. Inhale, flat back. Oh yes, here we got a block here. Let's use it. Find that. Oh. And exhale, fold forward. And inhale, sweep arms all the way up. And then back down to your side, Samasthiti. Okay, Surya Namaskara B. Step back a little bit from the block, or from the wall, so we don't hit it. All right, inhale, bend your knees deeply, arms high. And exhale, fold forward. Inhale, halfway lift. Let's go ahead and step back, lower down. Inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Step that foot forward. Come up into our warrior one. Let's stay here for another extra inhale. And exhale. One more inhale. And now exhale, bring your hands back down to the mat. Let's step back and lower down. Inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Step that left foot forward, pivot the right heel down. Come into your warrior one on the left side. Looking up at those thumbs as we usually do. Inhale. And exhale. Inhale. And exhale. Bring your hands back down to the mat. Back through our chaturanga. Inhale up, we're facing dog. And exhale, downward facing dog. 5 breaths here. Inhale. Exhale. 2, 3, 4. Inhale. And 5. Bend your knees. Step or float your feet forward to your hands. Let's use this block again. Find that nice. Inhale. And exhale, fold forward. Inhale, back into our Utkatasana. Hey, let's take this block with us. Actually, I'm too close to the block. Let's take our block with us. So, hands on the side of the block. Come into your chair pose. Hold it here. Push your hands into the block. Inhale. And exhale. Inhale again. And exhale. Come back into Samasthiti. All right, so notice that didn't make it easier. Actually, should have made it a little bit harder. All right, set this block off to the side. Inhale, pop your feet apart. Inhale, catch our big toes with our first 2 fingers. Nice long spine. Now, my toes are pushing down. My hands are pulling up. Okay, so this is really a lot of work here. And I'm reaching with my breastbone forward to that wall. This is inhale. And then exhale with all that strength, we just release down. Okay? Well, you can get some information here if we put this block here. So I have the block here. I'm leaning a little bit into the block. It makes it a little bit safe. I don't have to worry about tumbling over. Inhale. Exhale. And once again, inhale, find that length in your spine. Pulling those shoulder blades back down your back. And then we come into Padasana, stepping. Same thing, okay? So my toes are pushing down into my wrist crease, and I'm pulling up against that to find some tension, some traction to lengthen my spine. And then I exhale. And I can't quite reach my block here. No big deal. My bun is hitting it, but inhale. Exhale. Inhale again. And exhale. Inhale. And exhale. And then we inhale again, we look up halfway. And exhale here. Go ahead and undo your hands. Bring your hands to your hips. You might bend your knees to protect your back. Pull in your low belly. Come all the way up. And let's hop our feet together. And come into Trikonasana. If you're an Ashtangi, you'll find that your Vinyasa Trikonasana is longer than what we do in Ashtanga. And it's about 3 lengths of your feet between your 2 feet, okay? That's not a lot of distance. And instead of going in this plane like this, right? Okay, stick your hand right here along your spine. You'll find this little groove here where the muscles, there's kind of like a muscle that goes down here, and then there's some muscles that go there and up and down, right? There's a little groove there. So imagine if you had this like, okay, we're not human at this moment. say we're a little like marionettes or something, and there's like a little pinpoint here. It goes all the way through to our back, and it's gonna pull us up. We're pulling in there, okay? So this hip kind of comes forward a little bit. We come forward, and by tradition, you're grabbing your toe, okay? But for today, we're gonna have our block. All right, we're gonna have our block. So we're gonna come down. We're gonna either grab our block or grab our big toe and root in here. Imagine that we have that pin. It's holding us up from here. And come out here. All right. And if you have a bun, you have to move it out of the way. All right. So now, notice. We can use this wall to inform us. Now, I might not be close enough to the wall here because I'm kind of leaning. All right, so here. And then we're supposed to look up at this hand, but oh, my hand's too far back. So let's bring it a little bit more in view. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. All right, look down, inhale, lift up, and then we just turn our feet to the other side. Switch the block over. All right. Once again, get that pin there. Bring down. Arm rises. Find the wall. Move your bum. All right, here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This arm brings us up. Keep the block in that hand. We turn back around. And here's where you might need to move a little bit away from the wall. Go ahead and push our block up to the sky. That's not really part of the practice. We just come straight into it. But it's kind of nice to get that length in the spine that we're going to need. All right? We bring our block down to the outside edge of this foot. And we push into the block. Let's go ahead and walk this hand up the wall. And maybe even bend your arm a little bit so you can use the wall for some tension. All right, so I'm pushing into the block. I'm pushing into the wall. I'm using the wall to give me information on whether I've got a long spine. I'm trying to work with this. All right, inhale and exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Make sure your legs are working. Inhale. Exhale. One more inhale. And exhale. All right. Maybe bend your knee. Slide this arm down because you're really close to that wall. Change hands. And we turn to the other side. All right. Let's level out. Facing our pelvis towards this front wall. Inhale. Reach up. Find that length in your spine. As you do that, this back leg should really engage, okay? You really want your legs to work. This is where if your legs aren't woken up in your practice, in your standing poses, then when you get on the mat in your seated poses, you've like lost half of the work, right? You want to really warm up those muscles before you stretch them out, okay? So really like reach up, active legs. Come down, bring your hand down with the block to the outside edge of this left foot. All right, once again, we're finding our feet, finding the engagement. All right, I'm too close to this wall, so let's go ahead and just walk up it. And maybe bend the arm a little bit so I can find, actually I'm gonna get a little closer. There we go. All right, so rooting in to my right hand. Moving up, looking up at that left hand. Let's begin the count. Inhale. Exhale, 1. Inhale. Exhale, 2. Inhale. Exhale, 3. Inhale. 4. 5. And come out. You're going to step out to the right. This time it's a little longer. It's like 5 of your feet width. Really rooting into this outer back edge of this foot. Really engaging this leg. Coming down. Notice I'm pushing into this mat or my block to give me some information on what I can do with my hips. But at any point I should be able to pick up my hand off the ground because my legs should be engaged. I should not be sinking into the pose like this. You're not doing yourself any favors by doing that, okay? So really keep everything engaged. You're gonna take this hand, and yes, you can bring it straight overhead, but if you really wanna work on getting that shoulder in the right direction, let's swing it down and bring it forward. And oh, hey, I got a wall here. Let's use it. Put my fingers up against the wall and push into the wall. When I push into the wall, this back leg here really finds, it wakes up, right? And then with that, I can take this hip and bring it under. The sacrum moves forward and really find that movement, okay? And breathe here. Inhale. And exhale. And maybe I bring my back down to the medium width. Inhale. And exhale. And inhale. And exhale. Come on up. And then you return and you face the other side. And for the sake of the video, we'll do it this way. Okay. So you're going to turn, you're going to face the other side. You're going to bring your block down right outside that foot. That's where your leg's going. Really rooting into this back leg, saying hello, working. Put that hand down. Remember, you should be able to lift up. As you're really rooting down, you're pulling in your little belly, your pelvis is engaged. We're going to sweep this arm down, up, past your ear. Hello, wall. I'm going to use you since you're here. All right, find that length. Inhale. And exhale. And maybe I look up at those fingers like that's where the drishti point is anyways. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale again. Exhale. And inhale. And exhale. One more inhale. And exhale. Now, before you come out, keep a hold of that wall, rooting into that foot. Pick up your left hand, hover it here. 2 more breaths. Inhale. Exhale. And inhale. And exhale. Now, since you're already powered on your legs, let go of the wall. Inhale, come up, and then we just turn. And we come into the pose. Just for the sake of deepening the pose, getting the deepest pose you want, let's go ahead and bring this heel down. This is what Tim Miller calls research. Okay, so I'm really pushing this knee of my left foot down into the mat so that I can feel the stretch in this hip flexor, okay? And for the sake of really getting that, making the most out of that pose, for today, let's reach up. Take a couple breaths here. All right, so now same thing. We're gonna pull in our low belly and get our arm around here, okay? And rather than coming up high and going like this, notice how my spine is nice and long. And I'm getting a twist, but I'm not really getting in there, right? That's not going to help me get my arm around here. Okay, so you ever notice how by the time you get to Marichyasana C and D, you're like, oh my God, I can't get it. If you work here, it will help you there. This pose here is to help you there. Forward a little bit. Let's find this thigh, really strong thigh. We're engaging. I'm going to pull him on the belly and get this arm way, way, way down so that there's no way I can stick my hand or anything underneath here. Okay? That's how far down you need to get it. If you go here and you do this, your spine will lengthen. But if you get at least that knee way into that armpit, you've done your job. Okay? But, okay, so we're already here. That's pretty good. Stick this hand down. Let's even just work here. Put your hand in this hip crease. And let's do the turn here, rather than bringing our hands into prayer. Let's play around here, because, whew, there's something there, right? All right, but now we got to get this back leg up off the ground, right? So root into this hand, root into this foot, really start to wake up this leg here. All right, so we're halfway there, and this might be where you stay initially, but you could also pivot that foot down. And then once you pivot that foot down, oh, you really gotta there's something in your low belly and your pelvis that you need to do in order to get this hip back underneath you and reach that arm across your ear and look up at that hand without straining your neck. And then when you're here, engage, find that outer edge of that left back leg. Try and bring your bend down a little bit and reach that hand maybe a little bit higher. Find that length. Breathe here. I'm pushing my arm into my knee and my knee into my arm. And then go ahead. And let's straighten out that leg. The little runner stretch. Maybe bring chin down towards shin. Pushing down into the mat. Let's reach up. So if I lean forward, there's less of a stretch. If I come up, there's more of a stretch in this right hip flexor. All right, I'm going to just put this hand on my hip. Bend my elbow. Find my little crunch, right? It's an abdominal crunch here. I'm going to put my hand on my thigh to help support it so I can really find my armpit in that knee. Is it there? Yes, I can't get around it, but I can get a little bit more into it. And then you just straighten that arm, bring that hand down. All right. Lift up. Find that here. You can use your wall to help balance you out. And I'm a little too close. Oh, I actually can use it to help me find length and help me get further down into the pose. Let's look up at that hand. And that was 5. Undo it, find her legs, inhale, face the sidewalk, and back to Samasthiti. All right, the next pose and the last one we're going to talk about today is Prasarita Padottanasana. Hands on your hips, inhale here. And as you inhale, find that length in your spine. Then exhale from the belly button and the hips. We fold forward we bring our hands down to the mat. Inhale, look up, find that length in your spine here. Really engage these legs. And then exhale, we bend forward, and maybe I'm sliding my hands back a little bit between my feet. I'm going to bring the top of my head to the very edge of this block. And you want to use it so I can push against it, but you got to find the right placement, okay? Exhale. 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 Let's go ahead and lose the block and see if we can hang now for maybe 3 more breaths. So this is really where the pose is. So inhale and exhale. Inhale and exhale. Inhale and exhale. Now inhale, halfway lift, look up, straighten your arms. Stick your hands on your hips, exhale here, and then inhale. Push through the legs. Come on up to stand. Exhale here. Inhale, reach your arms wide. Exhale, bring your hands back to your hips. Inhale, right here, nice long spine. And now we're going to hinge forward like we did before, but our hands are going to stay on our hips. So hinge forward. And maybe we can use this block. So from here, your hands are on your hips. You should feel your Uddiyana Bandha working. Bring your elbows towards each other and point them up towards the ceiling. And be sure that your shoulders aren't coming up towards your ears. They're moving away. You get a nice long neck. Inhale. And exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. And exhale. Now let's come off the block and hang our head how the traditional pose is, so we can feel that and notice how it feels different. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. And exhale. Now we inhale all the way up, and we exhale at the top with our hands on our hips. All right, once again, inhale, reach your arms wide. Exhale, bring them behind your back. Interlace your fingers behind your back. Okay? And then inhale, straighten your arms or reach them down towards the mat. As you reach your sternum up, find that length in your spine. And then as we hinge forward on the exhale, pull your low belly in towards your spine. Let your arms come up, up, up towards the ceiling. And then overhead, reaching towards the wall. 5 breaths. Inhale. And exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Long spine. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale to the strong legs. And then inhale, you're going to let your hands, your interlaced fingers lead the way. They come back towards your tush. You push through those strong legs and you come all the way up to stand. You exhale here. Now bring your hands to your hips. This is the last one, D. Inhale with your hands on your hips, nice long spine. Exhale, grab your big toes with your first 2 fingers. Wrap them around and you can bring your your thumb around your wrap. Inhale, long spine. Exhale, we fold forward. All right. And maybe you use the block again, maybe you don't. Look over to the side of each of your elbows. They should look like goalposts. They shouldn't be like, too far forward. They shouldn't be leaning against your shins. They should be standing up like nice goalposts. And your legs should be strong and engaged. Should be lifting up through the arches, sending all the energy up the inner thigh, all the way up to your Mula Bandha. Nice long spine. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. And exhale. Inhale again. And exhale. And then inhale, halfway lift. Look forward. Exhale here. Put your hands on your hips. Inhale. Come all the way up. And then you would step back to the top of your mat in Samastiti. Okay, so that's all the poses from the standing sequence that I'm going to go through today. There's obviously more, but I think that gives you plenty to work with. So just so I don't leave you all kind of worked up. If you are planning to continue your practice, you can just build on this and continue on. If this is the end of your practice, let's go ahead and come onto our back. And since we have this block handy, let's come into a supported bridge pose and settle down. So I'm bringing my heels up towards my sit bones, rooting in to my heels of my feet and my shoulders to lift my hips up towards the ceiling. And then I'm going to find whatever height I want. Let's see, maybe it's here. Yeah. And I'm going to put my block underneath my sacrum and hang out here. I'm just going to stretch my arms straight out towards my feet, palms facing down. Let's breathe here. Inhale. And exhale. Inhale. And exhale. Inhale. Exhale. One more inhale. And exhale. Now make sure your block is nice and stable. We're going to go ahead and reach our feet up towards the sky, balancing on the block for a little bit of a shoulder stand. A little more restorative or passive shoulder stand. I haven't done it this way in a while. Feels rather nice. Let's just breathe here. Couple more breaths. And let's bend those knees. Set one foot down and then the other, finding the ground, finding our heels. We can lift up, come off our block. Let's go ahead and hug our knees into our chest. So you can either roll onto your side and then come up to seated. We're going to just do one forward fold. Or you can put your hands behind your knees, rock back, and then rock forward and come on up. Okay. Let's take this block. I'm going to put it to the medium height and stick it between my thighs. Keep my legs engaged. And just forward over it so that I'm leaning my sternum along it and hanging out here. Another option, if you're maybe really bendy, is you can put your block on the other side of your feet, and you can push into the block and forward fold like that. It's more of an active Paschimottanasana, and right now I'm just winding down, so I'm going to opt for this one. And we'll hang out here, and you'll notice that your head has a lot of space to just hang. And just release. 2 more breaths. Inhale. And exhale. And inhale. And exhale. And go ahead and come on out to seated. Set that block aside. And let's just find our Shavasana. All the way down our back. Releasing and relaxing. And just taking these few moments to let the learnings of the practice integrate into our body. And when you're ready to come out, go ahead and bring some life back into your body, deepening your breath, wiggling your fingers and your toes. Maybe bend one knee up into your chest, hug it in, extend the other leg long, and then switch. And then bring both knees into your chest, rocking side to side, giving that sacrum, your low back, one last massage. And reach one arm overhead and roll over to your side. And pause. And then go ahead and make your way up to seated. And maybe you find that block. Perch on top of that block if you want. Into an easy seated pose. Sitting up tall. Let's go ahead and close our eyes. Bring our hands in front of our heart in prayer. And we'll end this with 1 Om and 3 Shantis. So, inhale. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Let your eyes open and just know that all of us teachers that breathe miss you tremendously. And we're hoping that we can all be back together, breathing together, flowing together And with that, I'll bid you farewell for now. Have a wonderful day. Namaste.